Welcome, everybody. This is Roberto Monaco here with the Chiro Speaking Company and the Chiro Speaking Club. And today I have a master communicator, the godfather of chiropractic. I'm sure some of you didn't know that we had chiropractic had a godfather. Yeah, we actually have one. Please help me welcome my brother, my Italian brother, Dr. Joe Borio. What's up, buddy?
How you doing? Hey, how you doing, brother?
Hey, we're gonna have fun today. So for those who don't know, Dr. Joe Borio is impossible, but everybody knows Dr. Joe Borio. But if you don't know, Dr. Borio is an amazing chiropractor. At one point, he had one of the largest practices in the country, seeing almost 2,000 patients a week. He can talk about that during the call today. He has an amazing coaching group, Chiro Passion Consulting, which I had the honor to speak a couple of times, had a lot of fun. Yes. And what I love about Dr. Joe Borio, what I love about it, is that he has a gift, to communicate in a way that is so effective, yet funny. I remember one of the first times I saw you speaking, I think was in Las Vegas, and you were teaching your doctors, I think it was to do like a patient orientation class or something. And then at one point you're talking about the need to adjust kids.
Yes. And
then he brings a fake baby, a plastic baby, and a forceps.
Yes.
And he involves the audience. And it's two things. One, I was literally dying, laughing, crying. Like, I was having so much fun. And then by the time he was done with the whole skit, and I'm like, it's truly impossible. If you're a parent and you're watching this, you don't want to adjust your kids. It's impossible. It was super effective. And I just saw you speak this year at the Truth Seminar. Again, man, so many stories, so many lines, so many, these quick, fast ways to either ask a question or to tell a quick story that drives the point home. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the Godfather, Dr. Joe Borio.
Thank you, Roberto. Man, kind words. That was a nice introduction. I appreciate that. It's an honor.
That's the truth. So we're doing these interviews here, and I'm bringing the people that I trust, the people that I admire, my mentors, the people that I think, man, they're doing such an amazing job, and I want to expose, to our community here. And the goal here is like everybody has their one thing, like me. Even though we teach different things, we always have like our core major message or calling. For me is speaking. And Dr. Joe, what is your one thing? I know we involved. You have the beautiful villa in Italy. You have the wine. You have the olive oil business. The practice. You have the coaching. So what is your one at this point in your career? What's your one thing?
The one thing that I think the profession, the best gift I could give to the profession is that I think, from my humble position, is that nobody ever gets it. And it really is the one thing. I think that we start a relationship with people thinking that they get some sense of what it is we do. Yeah. And truly the value of it, they don't. I also think we start the relationship by doing some forms of workshops or talks, which you're an expert on teaching people how to communicate effectively. So we get that, and then Roberto, let's say you're a practice member in my office, and you start doing that. So we think Roberto's got it now. Hey, he came to my workshop. He came to my orientation. So guess what? Roberto gets it. So I never have to try to get him to get it anymore. I just have to keep focusing on all the other people.
The new people.
Right. And the reality is no. One of my Borioisms is be good at getting them, be great at keeping them. And be great at keeping them means that your relationship of education with chiropractic, with a patient, just and only begins on day one. That education can never, ever stop, ever. The minute it stops, and I know it, as a doc, we've had that experience where, let's say, Roberto, let's say you're coming in and you're a practice member and you're coming in regularly, and all of a sudden I become familiar with you. I like you, you like me, we have a resonance, maybe you like football, maybe you like soccer. So the next thing I know, our relationship starts becoming a little bit more friendly, a little bit more diluted, but I'm not really thinking anything about chiropractic and the reality of that moment, because I think, well, you went to the workshop, your wife and kids come in, boy, everybody comes in, Roberto's got it. I don't even need to talk chiropractic with him anymore, but I got to talk chiropractic with these other people. Then you drop out. And then I'm like, where's Roberto? I call him. You're not calling me back. You're not texting me back. And what I realize is, you know what? My comment to my staff was, well, I can't believe Roberto dropped. I thought he got it. And the reality is you didn't get it. You had it, but you're going to dilute it. Every time they leave your office, they get diluted. Every time they watch the news, every time they read the newspaper, every time they're on their computer, their phone, they get diluted because the rest of the world is often an outside-in think towards health. We're an inside-out. We're trying to teach people that health is from within, that you have this beautiful, innate, vitalistic energy in your body that makes it alive, that it gets impeded by subluxation, by misalignment of the spine. Everyone's going to forget that. They need to be constantly, each and every day that you see them, you earn the right to keep them as a practice member. It's another opportunity to teach them what we do as chiropractors and how valuable it is for them and their family. And that's the message, that they never get it. I have a note on my computer every morning that I start my office, and every time I sit at my computer, it says, nobody ever gets it. It's a reminder to me that every time I get my ass out of that seat, and I go down that hallway and I put my hands on people, that my primary job is an educator, not an adjuster. My job first is an educator. If I remember to educate first and to lead first and to share the value of what we do first, then I'm always going to have people to work on and I'll grow. If I don't, I don't. My practice.
I absolutely love that. Love it, love it, love it. Because if you were to stop and think about it, you always have the people bragging, you know, I have 30 new patients a month, 40 new patients a month. And you'd be like, man, after 5 years, they're going to be seeing 5,000 people a week, right? You do the math and like, dude, you're bragging about all this stuff. So, but they're leaving, they're coming in, they're leaving.
Right.
So I love that, by the way. I love that. Yeah. So, because especially in persuasion research, they talk about, they use this language they call attitude shaping, when you actually shape someone's attitude, meaning they don't know anything about it. And then, like, let's say they don't know anything about chiropractic and they become aware. Then you have attitude changing when they go from, okay, I know chiropractic, now I'm a chiropractic patient. And then the third level is attitude reinforcing, right? And that's what you're talking about. And that's something that most people don't do. And now they have the 1, 2 they don't do. So in your office, in your experience, which I love, by the way. So what are maybe some ideas or maybe some systems or the culture of your team to educate them so that, because you're always fighting that principle, right? They never get it. Yes. So the things like maybe the things that you do, that you see in work with your clients or in your office.
I'm glad you asked that, Roberto, because I have a couple little props right here.
Where is the baby? Where is the baby?
I don't have the baby right here. I didn't bring the baby. I got the baby, but it's not right next to me. But I got the toothbrush.
Okay, I love that. I love that.
So here's what I've learned in communication. So one is another error that we make with the greatest, and I say it humbly, but after 29 years of my practice, my perspective is early on, I try to educate, sell, lead, convince, influence through chiropractic.
Yeah.
They don't know what chiropractic is. So often you find yourself almost defending every other word that you say out of your mouth because you're trying to, if you will, serve them a plate of chiropractic and telling them how good it is. And they're like, I don't even know what that is. I don't want the plate of food, right? But if I was to tell them that it tastes like chicken, like everyone says, and you're like, well, I like chicken. Now all of a sudden, the food, if you will, makes more sense and more willing to take a bite of the food. So, for example, what do they already own? What do they already know? What already makes sense? What's pragmatic? What's deductive and inductive to them that there's no argument whatsoever on in regards to accepting, let's say, taking care of something. So I use a toothbrush, right? So anybody can get a toothbrush. You can get them at the dollar store. Crazy, everything's $1 in there, right? You buy a package of 5. And then you put them around your office. And then what you do is when somebody says to you, hey, can I change my frequency of care? Rather than telling them that most doctors go, well, hold on a second. Let me explain chiropractic to you. You're going to be there for half of an hour. All you got to say is, hey, let me ask you something, Roberto, and I'll role play it with you real quick. Roberto, let me ask you a question. Did you brush your teeth this morning?
Yes.
Yeah. Why? They must have been killing you. Is that why you brushed them?
No, because I want to keep them functioning, keep them nice.
And you're going to brush them tonight, or you're not going to brush them tonight?
I will brush tonight.
Oh, you're going to brush because they hurt more tonight than they do in the morning?
No, I want to keep them nice and clean.
So let me get this straight, and just so I understand something. You want to decrease your frequency in here because you feel good. Fair enough? Are you doing that with your teeth? In other words, are you getting through the weeks of your teeth going, I'll be honest with you, I'm brushing my teeth twice a day. I feel pretty good. I'm going to brush them once a day. Do you brush your teeth less frequently because they feel better and look better? Is that what you do?
No.
What's the value of brushing your teeth if they're already healthy? If they're already healthy, why are you taking time, energy, money to go to the dentist and brush your teeth?
To keep them healthy.
Right. So the greatest value is to put energy and time into it when it's already healthy to what? Keep it
them healthy.
Right. So here's your spine. It's been out of alignment how long? They'll say 20, 30 years. And you're going to say, so I put you on a certain frequency. So my big question to people is, how does doing less of what got you better keep you well? You know, why would you do less of this? And then sometimes they'll get it. Sometimes you got to go to nutrition. You get to the point where you eat really good and you get healthy and you go, oh, thank God I don't need to eat good anymore. You know, or do you say, well, I'm in really good physical shape. Now I don't need to work out as much. I can go in once a month, not 5 days a week. And most people tend to get it, but you're going to have that conversation 1,000,000 freaking times.
I love that. So you actually have a toothbrush hanging out in the office? You have it?
Yeah, I got everything. I got a toothbrush, I got wires, you know.
I love that. I love that. I mean, I love that.
I'll say, listen, here's your brain. I'm going to be your brain, and you grab the other end of that. You're going to be the liver. So you grab the other end of that, and I'll say, what's the subluxation do here? It's pushing on your what? So you tell me what it's doing to your liver right now, right? So is your liver getting healthier or sicker? Sicker. So what's the best way? More Advil? More hydrocodone?
No.
How are you going to take that pressure off? Right? So again, there's simple little analogies that I find that, like you had it in your introduction, you said, geez, Joe's got a couple of ways to get through the big idea without a lot of words and without using chiropractic. We're trying to use chiropractic to sell chiropractic. You can't. You got to use something that they already know, get a full agreement on it, and then make chiropractic that through the analogy.
I love that. And you know what I love about that too is because there's a whole thing about the science of using props.
Yeah.
And before I never got it, you know, but then I had Sophia, she's 2, and I see how mesmerized she is with things, with toys and things. And then I start, and this is condition that you get for many years now when you have a toy and it's visual and you can see. I love that. Yeah. So do you do a lot of when a patients come in? Do you do a lot of proactive? So this is kind of like a reactive, right? They say, I want to come down. I want to come instead of 3 times a week. I want to come 1 time a week, let's say, right? Yes. So that's kind of like, I'm not saying reactive, but like the objection is there. So do you have any type of communication to be proactive? So, because sometimes people don't say they don't reduce the care. I don't want to reduce the care. I'm not going to quit, or they stop coming. Correct. So what are some of the things that you do proactively to keep teaching and educating them?
Sure. One of the things we do, there's so much that, you know, you do, obviously.
Yep.
Some of the things you almost don't know until somebody comes in. I'm sure, like you realize, because you get so used to doing it, it's not conscious anymore, right? It's that unconscious competence. Mm-hmm. One of the things I learned, I'm on a coaching call. I'm in Chicago at a client's office. So you could pay me to come in. I come into his office. He flies me out. I'm in his office 15 minutes. He's got terrible retention. Tons of new people. He's bringing in almost 100 people a month, but nobody stays. They stay 12 to 17 times, they quit. So I'm in his office 15 minutes. I'm in the reception area. I said, you guys just run your office the way you normally do it, and I'm just going to watch. 15 minutes, within 15 minutes, 3 times, his staff celebrated a drop in frequency of a practice member.
No way.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So think about this. If I'm coming in 3 times a week, and 80% of the offices in our profession do this, I'm coming in 3 times a week, right? And now your frequency drops to twice a week. So your front desk says, hey, Roberto, great news. You're going down to 2 times a week next week. That's great. So now you go from 2 to 1. Hey, Roberto, great job. You're going down to 1 time a week next week. That's great. So I call it the 3, 2, 1, none done. You see, everywhere else in healthcare, the less frequently you use the care, the less valuable the care becomes, and therefore you don't need the care anymore. And that's because we are so focused on treating people rather than taking care of people. Whereas,
I love that.
so now if I say to you, and we call it the 3, 2, 1, none done. So Roberto, listen, I know different way to handle the same situation. Never celebrate a drop of frequency, heighten the value of the frequency. So Roberto, I notice next week your frequency of care is going to go down to 2 times a week. And you're going to go, yeah, great, or whatever, yeah, no, whatever. And I'm going to say, listen, Roberto, the concern I have is, do you remember the concerns on those x-rays we took? Remember how bad it is? Remember how long it's been there? Remember what's going on? Yeah. So the concern I have is we're trying to do in 2 adjustments now what we used to do in 3. So I just want to make sure, those 2 days are okay, that Monday, Thursday we've got you scheduled, because those 2 adjustments now are that much more important. And that's our phrasing. Those 2 adjustments are that much more important because you're only getting 2 rather than 3. So what happens is they start to, as they should, by the way, they start to question, geez, am I ready to go down to 2 times a week? Should I be going down to 2 times a week? Am I correcting well enough to go to 2 times a week? So what immediately starts to happen is we start to increase the value of what we do, the specificity, the certainty, the clarity of what we do as they decrease care, rather than everyone else in healthcare, where the less they use it, you become less important, less significant, and then all of a sudden nobody's talking about it anymore. So.
I love that. I never thought about that. See, you always have the little phraseology, the little way to communicate, man. I love that. That's beautiful. So, and I know obviously you're big in PVA. I believe last time you and I spoke, you said you don't do much at this point in your career after 29 years. You have all these lifetime patients. As a coach, first, what do you consider a good PVA? Number-wise for doctors out there. What is obviously say forever, right? That's
right, sure.
Forever. We get it. Sure. But statistically speaking, kind of like to have a parameter, so the doctors who are listening to us be like, man, my PVA is 10, 12. I should be at 200, 300. What would be something that you say, okay, this is really good?
Right. So let's talk PVA. The PVA is a difficult number sometimes. So often because if you saw a lot of new people or you didn't see a lot of new people that month, it can really skew that number.
Okay.
So I always tell, first off, I would never do your PVA other than at least on a quarterly basis, more accurately over a 6-month window. Because that'll give you a much truer representation of your patient visit average, as opposed to a lot of docs, what's my PVA week to week or month to month?
Got it. Okay.
Not as accurate. That's number one. Number two, what I find to be more accurate is a tracking of your dropouts. In other words, go from January 1st this year until right now, take every name out of your computer of somebody who's discontinued care.
Okay.
And then count how many times they came in before they dropped. That'll usually tell you your biggest weak spot in your practice. So what'll happen is, let's say 50 people dropped. Out of the 50, you're going to see 30 of them dropped after 12 times.
Okay.
So that tells you that people after 12 times are feeling better, and you haven't switched their paradigm to give them a reason as to why they need to be there outside of the fact that they don't hurt outside here anymore. right? So again, that tells you a few different places that you need to work. Checkups, your table talk, your 3-2-1 done. Those are the things that we train a lot on, and very specifically in chiropassion. But a great PVA, to answer your question, your initial one, a great PVA, you got to be over 200. You got to be hitting them over 200.
So what is the industry average is what? What do you think? I mean, the people that you talk to, the people before they come to chiropassion.
You mean the honest answers, or all the fucking bullshit that everybody tells from the stage out there?
Yeah, yeah, 200. That's a good number.
Yeah, so you want to have at least 200. 200 means they've been with you at least 3 years. General rule is they got to be with you 18 months in order to make them a lifetime practice member. They got to be 18 months. If they're not in their 18 months, they're either still going to get a corrective care plan within a year, CBP docs and such, which is great, but then they're still looking at you as a treatment to correct the problem, not as a person, not as somebody that needs to be taken care of. That's why one of the most important questions that we ask people, and we ask them routinely, is it's a reminder question. Hey, Roberto, once I get you well, what's my job?
Keep you well.
For how long?
Forever.
Right, just like these, no different than taking care of your teeth, right? So we go all the way right to the point end of their teeth, because they never get it. They constantly got to be reminded of it. We use analogies, toothbrush, exercise, nutrition, anything we can use that they already own to anchor it, and then using that, making chiropractic equal to that or better than that, will allow them to stay under care longer. And it gives you a conversation outside of football. Like, see, if I'm only going to be with you for a moment, and chiropractic is really as important as we say it is, then why am I talking about anything else other than their adjustment in chiropractic?
I shouldn't.
Right. I mean, it doesn't mean, if we're orthodontists and you have kids and they need braces, everybody in the world, or at least in the United States, knows what orthodontics are. So as the orthodontist, I don't need to be in there working on your teeth going, now listen, Barbara, I'm working on your front incisor here, because they already know you're putting wires on my teeth to straighten my teeth out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So they already know. People already know what chemotherapy is, God forbid. People already know what exercise and nutrition is. They already got it. They don't know chiropractic. So the problem is, we start thinking they get it, like I was going back to before. Now I'm at the table adjusting you, and I say, man, Roberto, did you see that game last night? Or maybe you asked me that, right?
Yep.
And I start talking about the game, and guess what? I become your friend. We become familiar. I'm not your doctor anymore. I'm your buddy. I'm your good buddy, Joe, the fucking barber up there. Now all of a sudden you just start walking in and out when you think you want to come in and out of the office. And the next thing you know, every time you come in, and then they're like, I don't know why he dropped. He doesn't stick to care. He's not taking me seriously anymore, because you've lost your positioning of authority in the sense of being respected as what it is you do, because you diluted it every time at the table. Every time you came in, I had the chance to heighten my concentration of chiropractic, and instead I diluted it with every conversation I had. And it sucks. It's unfair. It would be great to be able to walk in and adjust you and talk about those nice things that we love to talk about in life. But because they never get it, I can't do that at the table. You can't. Because if you want to retain people, every time they come in, you got to be talking about what adjustment you're doing, where the organ goes, how it's affecting the body. If you ask me about the game last night, I'll say, geez, I didn't get a chance to watch it. Who won? And you'd say, hey, the Celtics won. I'd say, you know why? I read it. Now that you mention it, I just read it on the computer. They had a better chiropractor. That's what you say.
I love it. I love that.
Oh my God, it's raining all day today. I'm going to tell you something now, right now, Roberto, and you don't even need to worry about the rain, because I gave you an adjustment today that's going to get the sun shining in you brighter. In fact, I'd go get some sunglasses and some sunblock, brother, because you are subluxation free. Like,
oh, I love it. I love it.
Chiropractic. You don't talk about anything else other than chiropractic.
I love it. I love it. I love it. How were you able, or how? Of course you were. I already have an answer. But how specifically you train your team, your CAs, front desk, to have the same mindset that you have?
Sure.
give me maybe have a tip or two to talk about how, because I know you're obviously 29 years and you're super passionate about chiropractic and help chiropractors, but sometimes your team may not be on board. So how you create that culture of like, they never get it, we're always communicating. How do you do that?
Sure. Number one, first and foremost, I'm going to be raw and I'm going to be a coach right now, right? I can say what I want.
Let's bring it.
Here's the reality, and I'm going to just say this to everybody out there. No one's going to come fucking save you. That's number one. You got to get off your ass and you got to go to the training facility. I mean, that's the reality of it. You know, everybody's looking for, oh, Dr. Joe, I listened to this thing with Roberto. I'm going to go get a toothbrush and I'm going to go do this and I'm going to see 1,000 fucking people a week. It doesn't work that way. You got to train. You got to, and that doesn't mean 17 hours a day. But holy shit, if chiropractic is as important as everyone professes it to be, which I don't question that it's not, why aren't we willing to give 30 minutes a day into our profession and make ourselves better, right? Instead, we all want the quick, easy little fix, right?
Yep.
So teach docs, and it's not easy. You got to get up in front. You got to talk in front of people. You got to write down your stories. You got to study the beginning, the middle, the end. What's your influence? What's your emotion? Plus, you have to be in a physiologic state before. And as you know, right? You teach. Yep. How do you manage your physiologic and emotional state before you get up? That takes training so that you're in a good place before you get up in front of 300 people, right? And then when you're up there, there's a perfect strategy to how you're going to present and teach and lead and close and sell and walk off the stage. So the same thing with what we do as chiropractors. We got number one, no one's going to save you. Number two, it's up to you. It's not up to me as your coach. It's up to you. I'm here to help lead you. I'm your tour guide. But if I got to get to the point where I got to go do shit for you, then, it ain't going to fucking work. Okay. So you got to be willing, you got to be compelled to want to make a difference. And then number three, what we do is we do video training. So everything that we do, we hired photographers and videographers, and they literally came in my office and for months videotaped every freaking thing I do. So you want to know what I eat for breakfast? You want to know what I do for exercise? You want to know what color underwear I fucking wear? You got it. It's there. So everything I say in my office is recorded, right? So one, you're going to be able to watch it. Number two, we've got everything written down in scripts. Number three, we do webinars every week. Number four, we do one-on-one calls every week. We do a CA training, so you get to talk to my CAs that get to train your CAs. And then we get together with 4 events a year. And the reality is too many docs are on an island. Too many docs are struggling.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be that way. And no one figured it out by themselves. Like nobody figured out being a chiropractor by themselves. Why in the world would you try to figure out after a $300,000 education and all the sacrifice you made, why would you try to figure out how to run a successful practice by yourself? It doesn't make any sense to me at all. The profession, you got to work with somebody that resonates with you. You got to work with a coach that, hey, I like what he or she's doing, and I like what they have to share, whoever that may be. And there's a lot of great people in the coaching consulting field. Sometimes they get beat up with, with some conversations. I hear sometimes people bash coaches, but the reality is most of us are out there really trying to do a great job to serve other people at a higher level. I mean, I tell my clients, I don't need to be here. Holy shit. You know what I mean? Why? I asked a client last week, I said, why the fuck do you think I'm on a phone call with you right now? You pay my electric bill? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm on a call with you because I've been blessed to work with Reggie Gold and Jim Sigafus and Fred Barge and Sid fucking Williams and the greatest people, chiropractors that walk the planet. I had the opportunity to work and train. Some of those guys were my coaches. And as a result, I had so much success with my dad and my parents and my work ethic. And I'm here because I love this profession and I can't adjust them all. You know what? So the reality is we need other people out there to be successful if this profession is going to not survive. I hate when docs say, oh, chiropractors survive. Fuck survival. We've been surviving for 100 years. It's time for us to thrive. It's time for us to say, listen, screw you, everybody else. What do you think you're going to get on the Oprah show and it's going to change chiropractic, or everybody's waiting for some big fucking study to come out to say, oh, God, the study came out, proved chiropractic. Chiropractic's already been proven. You tell me, Roberto, what's better, a straight spine or a crooked spine? What's going to make you healthy, straighter or crooked? I mean, the whole world already knows straighter's healthier. What are we fucking arguing about? Here's the reality. You're crooked. Let me adjust you to make you straighter. And you got crooked because you weren't taking care of it. So let me adjust you so you stay straighter. It isn't more fucking complicated than that. And the reality is we got to get out there and do it, because we got so many docs that are barely paying their bills. Too many docs are barely surviving. We're not going to take healthcare over, and no one's going to want to be a chiropractor unless you're successful, right? I mean, they're going to want to go, hey, I want to do what Roberto's doing if I want to be a speech coach, right?
Yep.
Or an influencer, an influenceology like you. Hey, you're going to influence more people by your success, because they're going to go, damn, I want to do what Roberto's doing. Look at, well, I got successful business. He's phenomenal, beautiful family. I want to do what he's doing. You know, we got to be chiropractors that people go, wow, I want to do what he or she's doing.
Yes.
Not the chiropractor going, Jesus, don't go into chiropractic care because, you know, the insurance sucks or this sucks or all that. No. Make ourselves great. Be great communicators. Hire great people like yourself. Learn to communicate. Learn to present. Hire great coaches. Teach how to run a successful office. Join with other chiropractors. Quit criticizing everybody. Hold hands. We're part of a brotherhood and a sisterhood. Take over healthcare. That's what we're here for as chiropractors, and we change the health of the world. That's what we're here to do. So
that's it. I love that power, man. I love the fire. I love you, brother. So when is your next thing, man? People want to reach out to you, check out Chiro Passion Consulting. What's happening? How do they reach out to you?
Yeah, so easiest way to, well, we do a free coaching call. I know you do stuff like that, which is great. And so that's what we do. A lot of times I think there's a story behind every chiropractor. You know what I mean? There's that story, and it's so critical to know what that is to really understand how to plug into their life and help them and be part of that journey. Yep. So we do a free coach call. So if you go on our website or on my Facebook, I got it in every link. You click on Joe Borio, or you go to chiropassionconsulting.com.
Can you say it one more time?
Sure, chiropassionconsulting.com.
Okay.
And right on the link, you click it, it'll say free coaching call. You click it, it asks your name, your number, and then we just set you up on right online with a call with me. We spend 30 minutes talking a little bit about you, your practice, your story, and then I'll share a little bit more about what I do. You can reach out to me on our Facebook page, Joe Borio. Yep. We have a Chiro Passion Consulting page, Facebook page, and we got a YouTube channel. So, I mean, holy shit. You can, I don't know how much more I can be out there. So you just click on it. You can Facebook message me, whatever you want to do, and you say, hey, Doc, I like what you have to say. You resonate with me. Great. If not, there's so many other great people. My biggest piece of advice, don't go it alone. Don't be on an island. Hire a coach, hire a consultant, be part of a great growing group of like-minded docs. You'll lift each other up. Next year will be more successful than the year past, and you'll make a better life for yourself and your family, no doubt about it.
I love you, brother. Just want to wrap up. Thanks so much for sharing your wisdom today and your passion. I remember when you went to Italy in your house there and for vacation, and all of a sudden I saw a picture on Facebook. You got a little table and you start adjusting people in the village, you know.
Oh yeah.
And like you're just bringing people. Probably they don't speak. You don't speak. Do you speak Italian at all, or?
Io parlo italiano poco. Sì,
yeah, poco. Yeah, so you could communicate. So how did you get those people from the street? What's the secret to getting them from the street to adjust them in your house? What's the secret?
You know what? I'll tell you what's even more amazing, other than the secret to get them there. Yeah. I don't know how they know where I live. That's what's freaky about me. But what I did is I deliberately went in the village. My first year, 3 years ago, I went in the village. So I've got my license. I've got my a passport there. I'm an Italian citizen as well. So I went in the village. I deliberately took a few people, and right in their big courtyard, I adjusted them. I was talking chiropractic, and I adjusted 3 of them in the village. I told them I was going to be having office hours on 3 days a week, 2 hours a day. those 3 days a week. And I got a little bit of talking going on. And the first day I saw 13, second day I saw 20 something people. And the third day we saw almost 40 people, 30 something.
Wait, they come in your house?
They come right. Yeah. I have a before you get to my house, there's another little building that I bought that I made a little office out of.
Yeah.
So they just come right to that. So,
that's amazing.
and I couldn't get any tables. So 3 years ago, I worked with my caretaker at the house, Giuseppe, and we took wood that was pressure treated and we made 2 adjusting tables out of it. And out of hand sawn, brother, I wasn't using power tools. And now when I adjust people, I bring down 2 beach towels and I just put a beach towel and they're right on hardwood with a beach towel. I'll tell you one last quick story. I know you got to go. It's your daughter's birthday. You know, there's this quote, and I know you've heard it being in the chiropractic world. And BJ said, you never know how far reaching what you say or do are going to affect the lives of millions tomorrow. You know, we say that flippantly. It's something sometimes people say, and I don't mean to question their authenticity of it, but I think sometimes we forget the meaning. Last year, there's a guy by the name of Michaela. He speaks Vicinese, which is a dialect that's not Italian, and it's in this village of Vico. So he comes, I can't understand a word he's saying. He brings me a disc. He brings me a CD disc of his x-rays. I look at his x-rays. I'm there with somebody from the village. We're trying to communicate to him as best as we can. I tell him 3 days a week. I'm only here for 3 weeks. I'm here I could see him 9 times. He doesn't want to be there. He's probably the most miserable bastard son of a bitch you'd ever meet. Angry, almost a guy that you almost don't even want to take care of because he's just so freaking miserable. So he's 86 years old. Okay? He can't even walk. He's limping. He's miserable. I don't even, little guy. So I adjust him 9 times. By the time 3 weeks goes by, he's doing quite a bit better. He's doing better, but still miserable, angry, the whole 9 yards. That's it. I go back to America. I gave him the name of a few people to see, everyone there. Most people, they don't want to go. They want to wait till I come back. So great. I come back this year. I get there the first day I arrive in Italy. I'm there. Melody and I are by the pool. Up comes a car, this little white pickup truck. I don't know how he's in. I'm pissed off because I'm like, I got a gate that's locked up at the top of the hill. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And how did he get into my house? So he comes all the way up. He comes around the corner, and I see this little, what I would say, older man walking, and he's got like a little bit of a spry in his step. He's coming like this. I have no idea who it is. No idea. Comes all the way up to me. He's looking at me right in my face. I mean, I'm looking down at him, but right at his face. I still don't recognize him. It's Michaela, the guy I saw the year before. He's got a box in his hands. He sets it down. He holds my hand or my head in his hands like this, and he has tears dripping down his eyes. And he says, essentially, my neighbor had to come over to help me understand what was going on. And he says, "You've saved my life." He said, "I was in so much pain for 8 years. No one was able to help me. I had to go through the socialized medicine. I was getting drugs, surgery, injections. Nobody was able to help me." And he goes, "And the only reason I needed to be well," ready for this? "My wife is 86. She's significantly disabled, and I couldn't take care of her."
Oh.
And he said, "I came to you. I didn't want to be there. I was miserable. I lost hope. It was only through the insistence of my friend to say, go see this guy, Dr.
I have a chills now, buddy. I have a chills.
And he says, "And you changed my life." And he goes, "More importantly," I almost cried telling you, he goes, "More importantly, you changed the quality of the life of my wife. And I want to thank you."
Wow.
And he gave me this box. He had paid me all along. He gave me a box. He gave me a bottle of Prosecco. He gave me some zucchini flowers. And he gave me some homemade ricotta cheese.
Oh, brother.
So you never know. You never know. So
thanks for sharing that. What a way to finish up, man. I love you, bro. I love your heart. Love what you stand for. Love your passion.
Right,
and thanks so much for sharing that story, buddy.
Thank you.
Dr. Joe Borio, everybody. Love you, brother.
Thank you.
Go see this guy. Absolutely. Much love. Thanks for being here today. We talk soon.